as realistic. That's why I didn't support it.
Some in the studio want to ask some questions. Just help me put this piece on. Yes. Okay. Just put.
Sam, hi. Good morning.
With Tony Cole today. Can you hear me, Magnus?
Okay, I guess they'll have to fix that earpiece he has so that he can hear us very well, because we all have questions for Magnus Abbey there.
And I think that crisis in the Rivers State APC is really crucial. Of course, we've seen the outing of the APC in Rivers State in the past election. They didn't even appear. They earned the fury of INEC in taking them out of the race somewhat. So you can see the cost.
Even in the presidency.
Yes, indeed. The general election.
The general election, the presidency, Rivers did not contribute more than 30%
absolutely.
of the votes.
And what is baffling, because I used that as a gauge to what Rotimi Amechi said among his results when he said he even led the presidential campaign twice and succeeded, talking about President Muhammadu Buhari, over the past seven years, in the 2 terms that he contested, but then I also had to weigh in, the crisis in his home state and how he has been able to help the party. But if you say you've been able to help the party, why doesn't it translate to gains for the party in your home state?
Talking about charity beginning at home, because the point there is that if you're going out to look for anything, we expect that you should have it like they say, out of the abundance of the heart. Absolutely, it should reflect. Exactly.
No, the charity did not even. He had a lot of charity, but it did not get home.
It didn't get home. No, but we expect that opportunities like this will come where leaders will sit together, keeping their differences aside and seeing, okay, what do we do right now? Because they want to win elections. Rivers State is a party that they want to get power from. Well, so what do? We have a stalwart in Tony Cole. We have a stalwart in Rotimi Amechi. We have a stalwart in Dakuku Peter side. We have a stalwart. So how do we all come together instead of us being in our cocoons, throwing stones at each other when they are supposed to be fighting together?
There's gain in numbers after all, and
there's a politics to game of numbers.
Absolutely, and looking at how high the stakes are now, of course, Governor Wike isn't keeping silent. Of course, we also know that he has his eyes on bigger things. We don't know how it will pan out in the choice of a running mate for the opposition PDP, but there is a lot of work, lingering work for the APC in Rivers State to do, how to restore sanity, how to restore loyalty. I mean, the president said as much. National interest or the interest of the party should guide everyone's decisions, and that seemed to guide all the concessions that we heard yesterday, people conceding that give my votes to Asiwaju Tinubu for the larger interest of the region and indeed the party, and looking beyond the people too. All right. I don't know if we can get through Magnus Abbey now.
Well, they're not there yet.
Well, what is another significant thing about this is how the West has come together almost as one voice.
With the help of the North?
The whole thing.
With the help of the North?
With the help
of the northern governors, I should say.
Well, the northern governors, what they did was to catalyze this Southwest entry into this race. But the point is that the Southwest could have bungled it if Amosun did not step down, if Fayemi did not step down, Boniface did not step down, Dimeji did not step down. All of these were giving the impression up to that night that this is the old West again, with all the stories of backstabbing, treachery, banana peels, and all of that. But the story still remains that Osinbajo did not step down, that they wanted him to step down. Then the point is, some people, this is also another script to it, that some people wanted to prune Asiwaju out of the race. There was also the tendency to prune Asiwaju out of the race. And Asiwaju says, no. This is not about pruning anybody out of the race. let 1,000 flowers bloom. Let everybody go out there and test their strength. And eventually, if Asiwaju, as it's turning out it might be, wins today, he did not only win as a candidate, he also won as a Democrat. Because he was the one insisting that everybody should come out and contest.
And test their capacity.
It's also significant that another Southwesterner, though it's been argued that Tunde Bakare may not have, as much chances as a Southwesterner in the person of the Vice President. But, there were some interesting sound bites in his speech to delegates yesterday. He said he had communicated with them by SMS and not necessarily by way of financial inducement. He's not stepping down for anyone. President Buhari should give him the support as the incoming president, and all that. I think that is also, we have to, admit that, okay, he's staying on in the race. We'll see how he plays out, or how he performs eventually.
That's the beauty of the democracy we're talking about. The point there is, anyone who becomes emotional because this person didn't step down and the other person is in the race and all of that, doesn't really have the experience and doesn't know what the issues are. But the issue there is, there are times where you know that at this time, seeing the permutation and the writing on the wall, it is time to align. And those kind of alignment, strategic times, they matter. Now, one other issue yesterday that we're looking at were the voices of aspirants like Ken Namani, Ubunayonu, who were talking about the Southeast. They were bringing up the issue of justice and the need to be fair and the need to be balanced in the judgments regarding when the Southeast has not been part of the mainstream, has not been a beneficiary of some of these things. But however, we were analyzing with my guests through the night, and we're looking at putting all the numbers on the ground. Of course, one would say, why are we here in the first place as a politician? We're here to win elections. And if we're going to win election, what are the chances we have with this region, that region, this region, and this region, as the case may be? All right, I understand Ayodele is back with us right now from the Eagle Square. Ayodele, we were waiting to reconnect with you.
Yes, at about now, voting ended like 10 minutes ago, and at about now, the chairman of the electoral committee, that's the convention committee, that is the governor of Kebbi State, that's Atiku Bagudu, Senator Atiku Bagudu, is about to announce the modality for the sorting and the counting of ballots. So what they want to do now is they want to cordon off this area. You can see the ballot boxes and security manning it. So they wanted to make sure that anybody that does not have any business around here will not have access to this place, so that they'll start the process of sorting and counting.
All right, Ayo, if you're still, okay, I guess you can still hear me. Let me also ask Ayo, while we await further directives on the next stage of the primary election of the APC. So, last night we've been talking about the Southwesterners, the Southwestern aspirants who, withdrew from the race and gave their votes to Asiwaju Tinubu. So the question people have been asking, just like the Tambuwal style in the PDP back a while ago, why did they have to wait till this moment? Whose course does it serve the most for them to make a decision after all the long period of suspense?
Yes, most of these governors and former governors, they are stakeholders within the All Progressive Congress. If you look at the relationship of John Kayode Fayemi, as he said yesterday, that's the chairman of the Governors Forum, with Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It has started from the days in democratic struggle, and Kayode Fayemi played a very prominent role in NADECO there in the United Kingdom before coming back to Nigeria. And Ibikule Amosu was in the All Nigerian People's Party, that is ANPP, defunct ANPP. He ran for governorship in Ogun State, and it was when ACN was established that Bola Tinubu invited him to actually come to join force. And it was when he joined that ACN that he was able to emerge as the governor of Ogun State. These are close associates that a lot of people even question that why did they have to go and pick up the form. Ab initio that since the person that the governor of Ekiti State, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, we call their own Capon de Tutsi, that yes, it's their leader, that's why they had to rally around him, a man that everybody, you know, is like a rallying point in the midst. So what they did yesterday was, you know, to mold and cement any kind of fractured relationship in their ranks before. So the Southwesterners, except for the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, that was so confident about his chances of emerging at the end of the day, did not step down. So if you look at the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, that Dimeji Bankole also stepped down, and that went a long way to boost the chances and the votes. So at the end of the day, I think we had like 7 other aspirants that actually stood, you know, that
Stepped down
actually
yesterday.
withdrew from the race because of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.